Rescatando al soldado Ryan es una de las películas bélicas que mejor se hizo, por supuesto tiene el sello de Steven Spielberg y pude hablar con el camarógrafo detrás de esta película con Mitch Dubin que viene trabajando con Spielberg desde Jurassic Park 2, así que lo conoce bastante pero bastante bien. En este caso hablamos sobre una de las escenas que se hizo por casualidad, podría decirse, y un montón de detalles referidos a cómo podría compararse el proceso de rodaje de esta película con lo que fue efectivamente el desembarco en Normandía. Todo en este informe sobre Rescatando al soldado Ryan.
We now return to Mira Akian and Contre with our latest interview.
He's amazing. I love Steven as a human being and as a person, and I love dearly working with him because I've never worked with anybody that loves the camera and understands the camera as a storytelling tool as much as he does. It was a ton of fun, actually. You know, my wife used to say I'd come home from work and all muddy and dirty and be like beaming, you know, because it's like we got to play war like little kids and, you know, blow things up and get dirty. And it was really fun. The other thing that was really funny is that the actors were all really great sports, and they were hysterically funny. Tom Hanks is a wonderful person, and he's very funny. And most of the day on the set was spent sort of joking around and telling jokes and practical jokes. And when I finally saw the movie for the first time, I was really surprised. It just didn't feel like the same movie that we shot because it was so emotionally and dramatically different than the process of shooting it. It was hard movie because it was so all handheld. It was really physical. I don't think I could do that movie now that I did then. You know, one story is that, you know, when we shot the D-Day sequence, and there is one shot, which is like the biggest shot that goes from them running from the surf to the, what they call the shingle, which is the edge of the cliff. And it was a huge setup in terms of all the effects that went off, the guns, explosions, the mortar hits, everything was buried in the sand, and it was all marked out and very carefully shown to the actors and to me and on the camera. It took them days to set it up, and we all knew that we were only going to shoot this once because it took too much time to reset it. So we rehearsed it a couple of times. I saw where all the little red warning lines were. And we rehearsed it like twice in the actors because it was hot summer. They were in full wardrobe with their packs and their guns. They said, Steven, let's shoot this thing. And Steven said, okay, let's shoot. Ready, action. You know, the camera's rolling, he calls action, and it was just insane. It was nothing like what we rehearsed. It was just stuff flying everywhere. I could, you know, I'm supposed to be following Tom Hanks, my camera, and it's a film camera, Panavision camera, has an image shaker on it, which is very heavy, and a film flasher on the back, which is also sort of heavy. Steven Janusz wanted the camera to be very low to the ground, and this is before there were good onboard monitors. So I'm actually running with, I have an eyepiece extender, and I'm holding the camera as low as I can and still trying to look through the eyepiece as I'm running. And as soon as all this stuff starts going off, it was nothing like what I imagined it was going to be. I'm supposed to be following Tom. I'm not even sure where Tom is anymore. And I take my eye off the camera and I just start running for my life. It felt like, and we're just running through this, you know, simulated war. Obviously it wasn't real ammunition, but it sort of felt like it.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tom and luckily I did follow the right person. both Tom and I got to the edge of the shingle at the same time. And Tom, looks up at me and he goes, "Holy shit," because it was just crazy. But it's a great shot. It's in the movie, but but people should know that I shot that entire shot without my eye on the eyepiece. I literally just running. When we arrived in Ireland to shoot that scene, we started with the D-Day scene. No one knew it was going to be a handheld film. I mean, I don't know if Steven maybe knew, but no one told me. And we didn't have any of the right equipment to shoot handheld. We're shooting, big film Panavision cameras with they were heavy. And I kept telling the assistants, we got to get lighter. We have to figure this out. We have to get lighter cameras because I'm not going to be able to survive this if we keep running around and shooting all this stuff with this heavy camera. And it felt a little bit like we were the soldiers that landed on Normandy Beach, that we were, we weren't prepared. They were overweight. They hit the wrong tide. I mean, everything was wrong about that invasion. And I felt like, it felt to us like we weren't prepared at all either. After we filmed for a number of weeks, we were probably halfway through filming when finally we found a camera, which was I think it was a movie cam with a Panavision mount on it. And it was so much lighter and easier. It wasn't necessarily the weight, it was the momentum, the inertia of a camera. When you whip pan with a heavy camera, so it does a lot of this. But with the lighter camera, you can just be really sharp with your moves, and plus I can run faster. And so if you look at the movie, like the beginning of the movie is all, like we're like plodding along like the GI soldiers were. But then when they get to Ramel and they became more resistant fighters, and they were moving much quicker, and the camera reflects that as well. The camera is in and out of rubble and running around and following them, and it has a different look and feel. And even though it's what was written in the story, it also manifests itself by the nature of the equipment we were using. I mean, it's sort of remarkable the way that worked out.